The Effect of Blind Obedience on Political Polarization by Leighton Fincham. The political division in the United States has accelerated in recent years. Our country is more divided than ever and is creating a huge problem. According to Gordon Hetzel, PhD in social and personality psychology, and his colleague Kristen Lauren, University of British Columbia, polarization can help democracies, but when it becomes too vast, such as that the entire swaths of the population refuse to consider each other's views, this thwarts democratic methods for solving societal problems. Due to the rising polarization, the United States as a country is unable to consider other party ideas and work together as a whole. A main source of this polarization is blind obedience. People blindly follow their political parties and do not consider what other parties have to say. My argument is that blind obedience has accelerated the political polarization. I came up with this argument when I read how blind obedience affects certain soldiers in the stimulus. This sparked my idea to explore where blind obedience affects other areas of life. Blind obedience has led to thinking negatively towards the other party, making it somewhat impossible to consider the other party's ideas. This blind obedience is shown in many scenarios, but one of the most monumental examples of where this is shown goes back to the Affordable Care Act. According to Michael McCarthy, after vowing to repeal Barack Obama's Affordable Care Act sent to passage in 2010, Republicans in the House of Representatives Monday, 6 March, submitted a long-awaited replacement. As shown in the passage, the Republican Party disliked the Affordable Care Act and even submitted a replacement bill to show their disapproval of the law. However, this was not the case when fellow Republican Mitt Romney implemented the same concept. Jessica Taylor, the Senate and Governor's editor for the Cook Political Report, sheds light on the fact that Mitt Romney admitted that the healthcare plan he implemented while he was the governor of Massachusetts came before Barack Obama's Affordable Care Act. When Mitt Romney proposed a similar law in Massachusetts, there was no problem with it, and it was passed in 2006. On the other hand, when Obama proposed the same concept, the Republicans were opposed to this idea and proposed a replacement bill. This shows the vast effect that blind obedience has on citizens and the political process. Political parties have filled voters' heads with confirmation bias through sources such as the media. This contributes to the political polarization in our society and negative opinions on opposing parties. According to Tim Groeling, professor in the Department of Communication Studies at UCLA, further in every case, the differences were found consistent with the partisan stereotypes. ABC, CBS, and NBC all appeared to favor good news for Clinton and bad news for Bush, while Fox appeared to favor the reverse. The bias shown in the media has been shown prevalent throughout news networks. This bias contributes to polarization in our society because news channels are biased towards a specific party. So if citizens hear good things about their party and bad things about opposing parties, they will most likely stick with their party. Even so much that citizens are adopting an authoritarian ideology. Citizens consider the media as the authority on the topic, contributing to the confirmation bias and ultimately the political divide. Even though blind obedience has shown to have many negative effects on the political process, many argue that you need blind obedience to create enough momentum and resources to establish power and common leadership. According to Suzanne and Samantha Scheich, reliable researchers at Team Strength, momentum is motion and growth. It is a leader's best friend and is often the difference between winning or losing. Get enough momentum and any kind of change is possible. An example where this is shown is with Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema. Eliza Collins, a national political reporter for the Wall Street Journal, presents the words of Kyrsten Sinema. Because I choose civility, understanding, listening, working together as a group to get stuff done, I will leave the Senate at the end of this year, she said Tuesday in a video released on social media. Compromise is a dirty word. We've arrived at that crossroad, and we choose anger and division, she said. I believe in my approach, but it's not what America wants right now. Kyrsten states that being independent and unaffiliated with either of the main political parties makes it difficult to be consistently elected into power. Even though many people think that it is necessary to have blind obedience among voters and citizens to put power in place, once this power is established, it is very difficult to deviate from party beliefs. Excessive polarization may be beneficial for establishing leadership, but with excessiveness leads to a partisan divide. Overall, even though it is easier to establish power with political polarization, this makes it harder to get things done as a country once this power is established. In order to get past polarization and consider other ideas, there needs to be a change. Moral courage is needed for people to stand up, and bipartisanship is the only way to get anywhere as a society. This solution would be very effective if applied because it would allow for bipartisanship. Craig Volden, a professor of public policy and politics at the University of Virginia, states, "Those legislators who employ bipartisan tactics will distinguish themselves from their peers in the ability to move their bills through the legislative process into law. Bipartisanship has been shown to be effective. It's just a matter if people are willing to take moral courage." Ted Thomas sheds light that it risks being isolated and singled out for painful personal consequences such as ridicule, rejection, and loss of job and social standing. When applying this solution, it would be very difficult because of the possible outcomes that come along with going outside party buildings. Thank you.